Well, hello everybody, welcome back to Robert's train set for the move, part 13. Now why 13 might be unlucky for some. I think for me it's lucky because I think this is going to be the last episode. The train set is ostensibly up in the loft, and what you'll see in this episode is me bringing up all the little bits and pieces that make a layout, you know, like people, cars, bits like that, you know, the play area, this sort of thing. So I'm going to do that, and then what have I got left to do? Well, I've got to get a socket over here for my bench, which really isn't much to do with the railway, but I can't connect the railway sockets until I've done that. So that probably won't be in this episode. And the other thing, I obviously, to do that, I need to clear this bench off a bit so I can get at it. So I'm just going to finalise getting everything on. And then I think I'm going to have a, you know, you're not going to get a video every couple of days, which is what I've been trying to do for you. There's going to be a bit of a break. I need to sort out your votes for the locomotives in the inaugural run, and I'll do a little programme on that and then show the little inaugural run. So that's what's going to happen. So I've got plan C for the shopping today. I'm going to leave it till this afternoon and see how I get on then. And then if it's still a big queue, then you just go whenever you want, can't you? But if I've got most of the stuff done on here, I won't be too worried in queuing for half an hour if I have to. So, right, so let's get on with the rest of the day. So, the date today, I can't remember. My watch says it's the 14th. That's a shame. We should have done episode 13 yesterday, shouldn't we? But never mind. And it's about 8:10 in the morning, so I'm still getting up reasonably early. So yeah, so I'm rambling again, but I'm not tired, so we'll get on with the day. Cheers everybody, see you later on, bye. Welcome back everybody. About 1 o'clock, lunchtime. Gonna go have my lunch, and then I think I'll poodle off down the old supermarket and get me food. But I'll just show you what we've got now. It looks a bit better than it did this morning. We'll have a look, shall we? So, starting from the embankment end, we'll just do a slow pan along the layout. And as you can see, we've acquired some signals. And we've got trees again. And we've got people in the park. And it looks like they're preparing to do a bit more fencing there, because there's some fencing bits. They've only got that far at the moment. I don't know why. Probably run out of materials. So paths are still to be installed both sides of the footbridge. Fairly congested getting into the unloading bay. And we have the normal amount of vehicles all waiting to get over that level crossing that never seems to open. And now a post's going to get in the way. Where did that come from? Oh dear. The park's back in full swing, although they're not allowed to be in there, are they? Get out. Naughty people. And the scouts are still tending the little raised flower beds. But the Girl Guides or the school party have disappeared. They've gone over to the country park. They thought there was more room there, so they're running around with a lot more space. We have our level crossing gates back and our little buildings by the level crossings, and something new here. I want to cover the connections for the DCC, so I've built one of them. Little up, and I'm going to build another one. I've got some of the stuff ready, and I think they work quite well, and they just about miss everything, just about. So all the buildings are back, and my littered single box, and the block of flats, so everybody's happy now. And as I say, more signals, and we've got the retaining brick wall, or the rock wall, over the far corner. I'll now go from the other side. So we'll go the other way this time. We'll go from this end where we finished. So you see all the station is redone, and I've put strategic little buoys over the screws, both ends, on all the platforms, and the jint is all ready to puff away. Still doing that hole that they were doing before the refurb. So we've got all the trees in the back gardens and the little raised flower beds, and all the pedestrians. And here's another one of them little huts. As I said, I've got some more to make, so I'll do those. I just wanted to make sure they'd work. So we've got fencing round, and a pair of gates for the entrance into the unloading bay, both sides. And we've got a height gauge, and the water filler for the locos are there as well. So all looking good. So I need to whip the excuse me, I need to whip away the engine shed and finish it, and obviously do the footbridge for the other end. But there we are. Hope you like that. Comments gratefully received. You like it? I put some fencing on the back of the Swan Lake halt to make it look more secure. So I'm quite happy with this. I think it looks fairly good and busy. Luckily, with the fencing for the country park, I kept the label so I know what to get some more. And I have a feeling I bought this at my local model shop, so I might have to go back to get it there. I'll have a look online, see what's what. But they probably won't be open, I would imagine. So, a bit difficult. Anyway, I think really we could say we're at the end of the move, can't we? I will stick a few more bits in, I think, to make it a bit longer, because there's not much on this one. And then it's a case of sorting out which loco won the competition, or the suggestions, shall we say, and putting together a running session which will be the inaugural run on the new layout with everything on it. Well, less the fencing, because the men aren't allowed to do that. It's not essential, although I would have thought it was next to a railway line, but there we are. It's a mad old world. Cheers everybody, cheers. Well, hello everybody, welcome back. After seeing yesterday's bit, you might have thought you'd seen the end of me, but not quite. So this is the 15th of April, and it's fairly late at 9:10. What have I been doing? Well, I got up early. After doing my normal things, you know, like eating and washing and getting dressed and sorting the rubbish out and the other bits and pieces that sort of get in the way of model railway, really, or train sets, I started uploading the number 12 episode. So as I said, this one's number 13, and this is definitely going to be the last episode, shall we say. So why am I subjecting you to my mug this morning? Well, I worked quite late last night, and we've got a couple of additions to the layout which I want to show you, and I also want to show you what I'm going to try and do today, if I can. We'll see how we go. So let's first of all have a look at the new additions, shall we? not strictly new, but it's got its clothes on, shall we say. The Hornby engine shed has now got its brickwork on and whatever, and it does make it a lot stiffer. I haven't glued it, it's just pushed together, so the actual self-stick brickwork and so forth does make it a lot more stable, shall we say. It should technically be very easy to do these, but I found trying to stick sticky labels on in the right place was quite difficult, even for me. And it does wear your patience sometimes. And it doesn't help from the fact that one of the stickers for the end graphics wasn't actually scored through enough to come off, which was a bit of a pain. It's the only bit, but yeah. So that's that. So that's all in and looking reasonable, I think. Well, at least it blends in with the other one, doesn't it? You know, they're all built at the same time. Okay, so now we'll go. I think where we go now is I'm going to drift across, and we've got my so-called Swan Lake, haven't we? I had one of my subscribers in a comment yesterday saying my little duck pond. Well, you know, I think it's a swan pond, isn't it? So I got a swan on it. It's a bit big out of scale, I'm afraid. It's one of my dear wife's little ornaments that are in the little cabinet downstairs with the logos. So I thought, you know, all the logos have interacted into a domain down in the cabinet, so I thought we'd interact up into here, into their domain. So we've got a nice glass crystal swan. If you saw this floating on the lake, I think you'd run a mile, wouldn't you? But never mind. But it looks, you know, it's a swan lake, like the name of the station. So while we're at this end, I have sort of populated it a bit with some people, and I've got the name board ready. If you can see it, I don't know if you can see that, can you? There's a name board here, and obviously got the thing, and there's some scales that end, and I've got a seat here, so it's populated a bit. And over the other side we have a solitary man sitting on the station over there, waiting for his train to either go out or come in or whatever. And I've got a few bits which are being hidden by the HST carriages, but I've got a few bits over this side, namely another empty seat and some bits and pieces that you might have on a station. Don't know how well you can see those, but anyway, right. And then finally, we pan very slowly and have a look at what we're seeing. I got the southern region footbridge done last night. Yes, I know I've not done the lights on it yet, but I would like to do it with the clear perspex, which you can do, but I wasn't in any state last night to try and attempt that, so I left that to do another day. I think I'm going to paint this, and I don't think I'm going to do it in a concrete colour. I might do it in a nice green or something like that, I'm not sure. See what paints I've got and give it a paint, and I might even try and paint the panels a different colour to the sort of the ironwork framework part of it. So there we go. But for the time being we've got a footbridge, so it's pretty good, and it is a lot lower than the other one. I would wonder whether trains would get under it if it didn't have the height of that platform. So the major part of today is basically I've got to film, haven't I? And what I'd really love to do is to really tidy all this up. I'm going to clear all my tools away and put them where they need to go. And I'm going to try and condense all these tools here to get more under, so that I can get most of my tools under there. And then I'd just like to tidy this up. I found it a lot easier getting through here with this empty. So again, the saw can go back in its box and some of the paint can probably disappear. And I think what I'm going to do, when I first started this, I thought I'd put it at 3'6" in case I wanted to go up underneath there. But I think I'm finding it a lot easier to go at this end So I'm going to put some storage here. I've got a load of those little container, those storage boxes there. So I'm going to get as much in them and neatly do it here. The big steps can go back down in the shed because I don't need them in here for the time being, and if I do I can bring them up. But what I will do is, if you walk this way with me, and it's painful I know, but never mind. I found these steps here very invaluable for doing work over the back scene, sort of in the park and putting the vehicles, and obviously not so bad with this station, but that the extra height gives you a better view. So I think I should keep these steps up here. And I really want this area cleared a bit because I've got to have lights and tripods and things to give you the standard of video that I like to do. So we'll see how we go. And I might even eventually get a bit of carpet down, I don't know. We'll see how we go. That might be in the future. So I'm going to stop waffling now, you'll be pleased to know. And for the umpteenth time I walked through my little gap there with bowed in half, which I'm finding quite comfortable actually. I'm not finding that hard to do. And I'll see you back later on and see if I achieve anything. Cheers everybody. Cheers. Bye. Well, hello everybody, welcome back. As you can see, maybe I'm a bit warm. A, the loft is warming up with the sun on it, and B, I've been working quite hard. So how have I got on? Well, the bench doesn't look much better at the moment if we have a look. As you can see, it's quite a bit of stuff. But the plan is to get most of this into this box. That's what I had down in the dining room as my sort of, you know, sort the railway box out. So I'm going to hopefully get as much of that in as I can there. As for my tools, I've sort of stacked them. I've sort of stacked them that way rather than on edge. And yes, I know it's harder to get out what you want if you knew what was in there anyway. But you can get a lot more in. So as you can see. And I've got some of the things I might use. I've got my toolbox out there, my wooden one that I made, the one that you used to have on site so you can add everything to hand. I've got some bags down here which have always been there, and there's a sander I think, which I found. So as you can see, if I go slowly, this lot here is obviously my electrical stuff for doing my socket, and the white stuff is like a shell, a hanging thing for clothes. You might have seen it at the very beginning. It was there, I think. So the computers and that are still there, which I'll probably leave because they're out of the way and not too bad. There's my Hoover that I will use later today, and here's the paint that I need if I want to repaint, which I will do want to. And the Dulux is that grey that I had for the railway, if you remember, where I was going to paint the sleepers, and I didn't. As for this end here, so I've got my tea trolley there that I'm going to use for the computer. I've got the light there, and then I've literally taken a load of paint that was on those two shelves there and put it in these boxes because I don't use it very often. Don't decorate much. There's another one of my toolboxes with not a lot in, and another box there. And then what I did, oh dear, get them out. My little unit that I've got here, look. If I'd have put it on the floor, I wouldn't have been able to open the drawer. So I thought, well, if I use the boxes with the paint in and then sit it on top, that should work quite well. And in the drawer at the moment is all my spare track. So it works well. Well, except for the meter ones wouldn't quite fit, but never mind, even though they're flexible. This needs to be tidied up obviously, and I've still got some of my electrical stuff, the socket that I'm going to need to do over by the bench. At the moment this carpet shampoo is looking for a home. I was hoping it would go under the layout, but it's too tall unfortunately. But I've obviously got all this storage here now. I've got my saw back in the box, and I've got my steering wheel if I ever wanted to steer the trains around the track. I've still got these boxes to sort out to go in the rack, which I will do when I'm a bit clearer. These are my little thing for when I did the weathering, so I could spray in a box and whatever. there's my big toolbox, which is handy. And what I've done is I've brought all the long sort of metal and timber and that over here. And if we go down this end, all my sheet material is now that end, along with the workmates, my workmates. So you can see it's fairly easy. So I think after lunch I'm going to have a go at tidying this lot up. I need to find somewhere for my bits of timber, which could possibly go in that empty storage box there. And we don't know what we're going to find, do we? But it's, you know, it's, if I can get rid of this bit here, because that is slippery, that'll be good. We'll see how we go. But I've got room there for my chair to come under, and there's my original frame that I used to have the computer on, so that might come in handy for doing things. So as you can see, I think it's looking a lot clearer, a lot safer for me, and I should have no trouble at all in opening my tripods to get filming over the top of the peering over the top of the back scene. So going well, I think. Yes. So at the moment it's 1:45. Yeah, at the moment it's 1:45, so I'm going to go and have some lunch. I found this hardboard, white hardboard. I think that will do as a barrier, maybe along here, and certainly along here, to stop errant trains falling down the hole, because it's quite a long drop, isn't it? And I might be able to use a bit of this foam to protect pieces where my head connects with the superstructure of the house. Might work. So coming along well, I think. So another blitz this afternoon, and I should be fairly happy, I think. I've moved all the cramps that were up here, which you probably didn't see, but they were all clicked on there. And I've tidied up my cramps there, and my cramps there, and a saw, and yeah, great. It's all these bags hanging around. I'll need to look into them and see what's in them. That's obviously an extension lead, I would think. But yeah, so need to sort this out and obviously clear the back so I can get this socket on the wall. And then we're near enough ready to go, I think. So yeah, going to go and get me lunch and maybe sit out in the garden. It's quite nice. Just bought all the rubbish things in. So I'll see you later on. Bye. Well, hello everybody. Welcome back. It's now about 4:15 in the afternoon on the 15th still. And I'm going to pack up now. I've got to call it a day. I've worked quite hard today actually. It's surprising how sorting things out and stacking things or whatever is quite hard work. Didn't realise. So let's have a look, shall we? Let's see what I've done, and yeah. So starting at this edge of the bench. Yes, I know it's not clear at the back yet. That will be done when I'm ready to do the bit of wiring in the box. There's my my cat there. Look, it's done sterling work, keep my head in one piece. And yes, this is still a bit messy here, but I think the boxes there will come in handy for bits. I've now moved all my electrical that I need for me sockets there, and I've sort of tidied up. Lots of bags are lots of bags, lots of rubbish bags, so I will sort those out. Some might go downstairs. I found quite a few bits and pieces. Computer and that is still where it was. Hoover's there. I haven't hoovered, and I'm not getting lazy. I'm just going to let all the dust settle, so I'll probably do that tomorrow. So as you can see, my movie light is here ready to be used. If I turned it on at the moment, it would really brighten it up in there, wouldn't it? Anyway, so my paint's still there. I've tidied all this area up. The boxes, you can see, these things covered in white, they're my suitcases for if I ever go away again. And the shelves that were over by the bench are now there. I'll probably put them up sometime and put stuff on it. This is my movie stuff, you know, my old cine film. The one in the bubble wrap is the stand that you stand the projector on and everything, you know, it's quite a nice one. And the box behind is the screen. And then obviously I've got some shelving stuff behind there as well. Behind the duvet actually, I've now got my projector and whatever, and some pictures and whatever. So I've made good use of the thing. I thought I'd cover this over because you see that when I'm filming, don't you? So I thought, I haven't done this bit yet, but I've tidied it up, and I thought we might be able to use this mirror to do something with. I don't know yet, we'll have to see. So I did find a place for the carpet shampooer that's sitting there now, along with that other chair that, never know, I might need to use that one of these days. So this is all quite clear now. This is quite good. I'm quite pleased with it. The box that was there is now over there, and actually the telly's working really well, so at some stage that box will go. All that plastic is now out of harm's way right in the eaves there, as you can see, and it's not sitting on any pipes or whatever, it's just sitting on the insulation, so it'll help keep the insulation down, won't it? So this is pretty full under here. I know you can't see it very well, a bit dark, but it's pretty full with all the bits that were basically behind me, so I'm happy with that. Obviously if I have to do any fault finding I might have to pull a bit of stuff out, but it's basically wires, isn't it? And I don't see that they should cause problems. Famous last words. So let's go back round. So as you can see, I've got quite a good passageway round here and round here, and you might notice something as I come along here. I've got a bit of carpet. It's just I found it, you know, it was under a load of the stuff in the corner, so I thought, well, I might as well use it. It's not fixed down, so it could be a trip hazard, and it's, you know, there's a bit missing there. I'll get on touch with the carpet fitter and ask him for that bit. Shouldn't have cut that bit away, should he? Yeah, I'm happy, I think. It's a lot clearer. Filming from this way, I'll probably try and get some sort of cover over the wood in the corner, so that you get a brick and a material backdrop. And at some stage I might actually do a backdrop down behind the, what's the name, that's loose, so that I can sort of pull it out so I can film, but might do that. We'll see how we go. Because it looks a bit dark there, doesn't it, compared to over the layout. Could always paint some of it, I suppose, but I might do, but not now. So we're all ready to go, really. I will do one tomorrow. I'm hoping tomorrow to sort out the bench here and maybe start getting me power in. Whether I will actually do it tomorrow, I don't know. We'll see how we go. But that really is the last job to do, I think. So what I can say about this is it's nice to have the railway up here where it's permanent. I can pin things and fix things that I could never have done downstairs. And I think the other thing it did, I'm sure we all need a bit of motivation from time to time. And bearing in mind I've lived in this house 18 years, and the loft has filled up and filled up and filled up, and I never did anything about it. In fact, I put more up here rather than I took out. It would have stayed that way. But by doing this, you know, you can see I've cleared up the loft. I've got rid of stuff I don't need, and stuff that I think I might need that I probably never will. At least it's neat and tidy. So I'm quite happy that I've done this. I am, really. And you know, you come up here on up the stairs, yeah, up the ladder, and what befalls you? Well, this befalls you when you turn the lights on, of course. A bit dark when you don't, but I'm very happy with this, and that little extra bit has made it all the difference around this area, hasn't it? So it's opened it up a bit and given me a bit more scope to do things, I think. So we'll see. Anyway, I'll see you tomorrow, and I suspect that will be the last part of this last episode. So see you tomorrow, everybody. Cheers, keep safe, keep well, and keep watching YouTube, because it's something to do, isn't it? Well, good morning, everybody. we're here on the final day of the move, the 16th of April, and I think it's about a month since I started this, and it's about 8 o'clock in the morning. So all I'm going to do today is try and get the power point over by the bench and connect up to the spur that I've got up from the bedroom, which is switched and fused through a plug. So that's about it, really. I did have a subscriber who was very worried that I'd stopped eating because I wasn't posting any more pictures of my dinners, which has gone down quite well, funnily enough. I've got quite a few comments about them. None of them derogatory, except maybe one. So my answer to him was that basically I've got a very simple diet, and you've basically seen all that I usually eat. I obviously have it different times and spit it out. There is one that I hadn't shown, and I thought I'd do that just to finish this off in the same idiom, and that is the Iceland frozen pink salmon. And I'll do a series of pictures of it, and I'll do a bit of commentary of it on my wife's way of cooking it. And it is really, really nice. It is nice. I really enjoyed it last night. I had it last night. So you can either look forward to that or you can turn off before you see it. Is to wrap it up in a little parcel in the foil, and you don't put salt on. Put pepper and some flavouring of your choice, and then knobs of butter in it, and do it up with air around it, and cook it in the oven for half an hour, and it's absolutely delicious. And you might have been wondering about puddings. I usually have fruit, but I ruin it by having milk, cream and ice cream on it, and I have a coffee at the end. So, and that's the butter left after the fish was eaten. So I'll see you a bit later on and see how I've got on with this, getting the electric sorted out, and then really we're ready, aren't we? We're ready for this inaugural run on Robert's train set Mark II, shall we say, because it's not changed that much, let's face it. Cheers everybody, see you later on, bye. Well, hello everybody, welcome back. It's 1 o'clock on the 16th of April, the last day that you will have to put up with me in this loft, or at least doing this. So I might look a bit better lit. I've just tried the halogen twin lights on, the floodlights, and it's pretty bright, although I've tried them at the end where it's a bit tight by the entrance, and I can't get them up full height, so I don't think they're going to work there. I think the other little one will have to go there like it did before. But it does, if I show you the layout, it does make it very bright, doesn't it? I won't go up and show you the lights themselves, I don't want you all blinded. But obviously as you come down here, avoiding the post, it's a lot darker. So I think that will be going up. I suspect I'm going to have to put it there somewhere where I've got height to get it up high. So what have I done? I've still got the little extension socket there, but now it's wired directly into a junction box, and as you can see I've then got another socket, twin socket there, and then we go up this end and I've got a single socket there. My cable then goes along here up the wall, and then I'm going to become a contortionist again, and I haven't got my hat on, and we run along the beam. I've got my bit of protection. I haven't pinned it yet. I just want to see how effective it is being like that rather than being on each corner, you know, more protection. And then we run along there and up onto there and back down to the junction box that we had before, and then there's the feed coming in from the bedroom below. So I'm happy with that, and I've tried all the sockets, and you can see they work because the lights on up there. So, and I vacuumed all round, so it's quite clean-ish. Got some of my big postcards, French Riviera, where I used to have an apartment and a mobile home. So I thought I'd put them up just to brighten it up a bit. I'm sure you can imagine what I'm about to say. I'm going to go and have some lunch and have a little rest this afternoon. I think go on the computer and answer some comments. I did a few yesterday, and I need to get this footage onto the last number 13 episode. What I'm going to do next is I've got a video that I made before I even started this, and it's on how I make my thumbnails. You might have noticed over the last few months I've been doing with thumbnails on YouTube at the, you know, the first screen you see. So I thought I'd just show you how I make them. I didn't get an app. I think a lot of people have apps. I didn't want anything too complicated, so I actually do it in my editing program. So all you need to do this is an editing program with a title box that you can print into and bring in a photo, and a camera that is capable of taking a low resolution picture, and that's all you need. So I'll put that on after I've put this number 13 up. Alright, so I hope you enjoy that. A bit boring, I know, but whatever. Cheers everybody, cheers.